Good afternoon, Tranya and friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Patio Ponderings. It's a little chilly outside. We're getting a little snow out there. And so I'm in here by the fireplace. That's not working right now. So we'll show the fireplace a little grace, huh? And that's what I've been thinking about this week, but not just me. One of you had the question for the week. So on Sunday, we had the story of Jesus turning water into wine at a wedding. And I talked about it being a story of grace because Jesus did this without any determination if the wedding host was worthy of Jesus' help or whether he deserved it or not. Jesus just did it. And so one of you asked me to help us think about, what do we mean when we talk about grace? So right before this story, in the very first chapter in the Gospel of John, we get an introduction to who Jesus is. Jesus is the Word made flesh. Jesus is our light in the darkness. And we also get this. From his fullness, this is talking about Jesus, we have all received grace upon grace. As the law was given through Moses, so grace and truth come into being through Jesus Christ. So Jesus is the way that we experience the grace of God. So what is grace? What are we talking about here? So if you go to the dictionary, you get some pretty basic definitions of grace. You get the idea of grace as a table prayer. We get the idea of grace as being very elegant and fluid. But of course, we're talking about grace as favor or a gift or something that is shown to somebody or given to somebody, not based on merit. We don't earn it. There's no test of whether we deserve it or not. And this is what we're talking about with Jesus. We receive reconciliation with God and with each other through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And we get this not because we have earned it somehow, not because we are worthy, not because we somehow deserve it. It is strictly a gift. Now, in our heads, I think we kind of know that. I think why we want some kind of definition is because grace can be a really uncomfortable thing. And we like to receive grace when we make a mistake or when we really goof something up and we receive forgiveness, or we still are able to stay in a relationship with somebody. But we really have a hard time sometimes in thinking about other people receiving grace. We are human creatures. We want rules and we want consequences for when those rules are broken. And so grace kind of goes against human nature in a way. And we can maybe get partially there, but underneath it all, if we're going to provide help to somebody, love to somebody, forgiveness to somebody, we want something that says this person deserves it in some way or is some way worthy. There's always a sense of measurement, I think, that we want to assign. But Paul, in his letter to the Romans, tells us, while we were still sinners, God shows his love to us because Christ died for us. Christ died for us while we were still sinners. We did not earn Jesus' death and resurrection in any way, shape, or form. And yet, we still want accountability and justice in the world. And sometimes the person we have the hardest time showing grace for is ourselves. We all have those times when we mess up, we say something we shouldn't say, we do something we shouldn't do, or vice versa, we don't do the thing we think we should do, and we can really beat ourselves up for it. But we need to show ourselves grace as well. So what do you think? How would you define grace to somebody? When you really do some self-reflection, what are the things that get in the way of you embracing grace in the way Jesus gives us grace? As always, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Enjoy the day, and we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.